Boom! Welcome to the Nerdy Jock Talk, everybody. I'm your host, the Nerdy Jock, Nick Angle. Welcome back to another episode of this awesome show. While I have you here, do me a huge favor. If you can hit that like button and maybe smack that subscribe, that would be fantastic. I am trying to grow this channel, so every time you guys hit that like button, it really helps me with this whole algorithm of the YouTube. All right, let's get right into it. Big news today. I'm so pumped about it. I talked about it last episode. Invincible. That's right, Invincible, the show on Prime, just got renewed for season 2 and season 3. I'm super excited about this. Now, I did do a little sneak peek on the source material, and I gotta say, the stuff that's coming, I didn't look too far ahead, but the stuff that's coming is going to be even more awesome. And like I said, every time I watch this show, I think it can't get any better, but it does. And so I'm super excited. Season 2, season 3, also on Prime. Even more exciting news, sort of. Critical Role, the Legend of Vox Machina, the cartoon series that they basically did a Kickstarter for. I don't know if you guys know about it, but definitely check this out. They did a Kickstarter. They were only going to do like a couple of episodes, and the Kickstarter went wild, and they ended up raising like $11 million. So crazy. So they're going to do 24 episodes on Amazon Prime. It's supposed to come out. They said the latest news about a week ago was summer 2021 to fall 2021, somewhere in there. So we're getting closer. But like I said, I'm a big Critical Role fan. That whole cast, everybody there, it's absolutely such an awesome show. It was the little show that they never thought they were going to make, and they just showed up, did this Twitch stream, and then it just went off from there. So super cool, really exciting news that it's finally, going ahead. It was supposed to be, out in 2020, but obviously COVID as well today. I don't know if you guys saw this, but PlayStation did their State of Play today. Did a live broadcast of State of Play. Was really interesting if you were a Ratchet and Clank fan. That's right, Ratchet and Clank is coming back to PlayStation, and they've introduced a female character. Super cool. Well done, going with the times. Obviously, it's big leap forward. Gameplay looks really cool. I'm actually super interested in it, even though I wasn't a big Ratchet and Clank fan back in the day. But, I'll take a look this time, give it a try. At some point, I'll maybe have to buy a PS5, but that's another conversation for another day. The other news that came out of State of Play, Among Us is now going to be available on the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5. If you're not an Among Us fan or you don't know what Among Us is, please get out from under the rock that you've been living in. It's absolutely a great game and just ruining friendships left, right, and center, people. That's basically what it's designed to do, right? Yes. It's a great game. I've played it a couple of times now with some friends, and I definitely want to play it a little bit more. I remember, the big party game when I was a kid was GoldenEye for N64. Now, if you didn't play GoldenEye, you missed out. But if you did, and you know what I'm talking about, we used to go with the 4-person, it was free for all, usually did the slaps, and nobody was allowed to be Odd Job, because quite frankly, you were an a-hole if you were Odd Job, because you were the smallest character and nobody could see you, and you looked like a leprechaun. It was hilarious, but such a great game. Among Us kind of has that feel where it's just like, it's a great party game. It's great to get everybody together and play and just accuse your friends of being, imposters and just awful human beings. But hey, whatever floats your boat, right? The other news that came out of State of Play, and the one that I am really excited for, is actually Subnautica Below Zero. That's right. Subnautica, if you don't know, is a game that came out a few years ago. I was really late on that train. Came out, it was basically you're stranded on a planet that's full of water and you gotta survive. You're not worrying about anybody else. You're literally just in there and you're playing, and it's kind of peaceful in that sense that you're not playing with a bunch of other players. There's a good little story to it as well, and it kind of progresses. That's actually the game that got me onto a YouTuber called Jacksepticeye. He played that game. I watched it. I fell in love with it just the way he played it. I played it. It's fantastic. Now Below Zero is coming out. I'm super excited about it. Gonna play it. That was the news out of State of Play. 18 minutes for Ratchet and Clank and 1 minute for Among Us and Subnautica. But, really at the end of the day, I'm more worried about the good stuff. Okay, this weekend, F1 is doing something completely different, something they've never done before, just throwing a monkey wrench into the whole plan. This weekend in Portugal, they are doing a sprint qualifying. Now, if you don't know how that's supposed to work, basically how it breaks down from what I've gathered is Friday, they have a 1-hour practice session. Then they do a qualifying, which normally they would do on Saturday, but they're doing a qualifying Q1, Q2, Q3, all done on Friday after the 1-hour practice session. That's setting everybody up for the sprint qualifying. That race happens on Saturday. That's right. It's a 100-kilometer race. That's going to then set up the grid for Sunday's race. I'm not sure how it's all going to play out. It sounds super exciting. I'm interested to see how this is going to go because they are apparently supposed to do it for 2 other races other than Portugal. I think really what it does for F1, riding the success that they've had off the Netflix series, now more eyeballs are on the product. Now they get to take over sort of Saturday as well with a little bit of a teaser race for race fans. It just gives you more racing because at the end of the day, if you watch racing, you want to watch more racing. So it's going to give us a little teaser race on the Saturday, a great race on Sunday. We're going to see how this all plays out because, you know, you never know when you start racing what's going to happen. Somebody pops a tire, somebody hits somebody else, doesn't finish. All these kind of things can play into it. And it really comes down to racecraft of the drivers, I think, on the Saturday. That's going to dictate what they're going to do on Sunday. So we'll see. It's super interesting, and I can't wait to check it out. And baseball news. That's right. Baseball is happening, believe it or not. The Jays are actually, you know what, fun to watch. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has gone off the other day. 3 home runs. Unbelievable. They beat the Nationals, and obviously he does the 2 home runs off of Max Scherzer, which is incredible in its own right. And then, like a Thanos snap, the bats just go, whoop, like the whole thing just falls apart. Vladdy goes 0 for. George Springer looks like a guy who hasn't played since March. Goes 0 for. I mean, end up 8-2. Like, nobody could swing a bat. And that is the one thing that's going to be really interesting, fun, hopefully not too depressing to watch this team because it's just going to be inconsistencies, right? That's what we're building on because it's such a young team. When they're exciting, man, they're exciting. When those bats are going, it's really fun to watch. The defense can get a little squirrely, but the bullpen has been really solid, actually, for the most part. I mean, they had the lowest ERA in the league thus far. Now, does that mean that goes out the window later on in the year because you blow them out early? Oh, man, we'll see. I can tell you this, though. There's going to be a lot more bullpen arms throwing with the Jays starting pitching looking the way it is right now with Ryu out. And it's going to be a bit of a mess. So let's hope that maybe, you know, Panic's not playing at third all that much. We'll see how it all plays out. Everybody knows this isn't the year that they're going to go and contend, but it's certainly a building block. The rest of the league, I had a really funny moment pop up on my Twitter when Joe Rizzo was throwing on the mound and, well, he did this.
Mound. He shook him off twice, Tom. And he got a cheese.
Now, let's see.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Oh, he struck him out. Look at Rizzo. He can't believe it.
Okay, guys, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. Yes, that is Deadpool on my mic. No, not that elephant. Yeah, the Montreal Canadiens. Woo, man, what a something. I will say this. The power of Koivu did help them against Calgary. They won that game. Then they went home and played the Leafs. And then that happened. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not that surprised, quite frankly. I will say it's been a bit of a slog this year. It started off with a bang, one that I was pretty confident wasn't going to continue. And sure enough, I was proven right. Who knew? I was pretty smart. You know, if you look at this year, you look at Marc Bergevin. If you look at this year, Marc Bergevin really has some explaining to do, and quite frankly, I think should be gone. He just hasn't done it. He's had enough time. He's used the bullets in his gun of the coaching bullets, and he's gotten rid of a couple, and he's brought now Deschamps in. What has changed? Nothing. If you actually look at this team the way it's playing now and the way it was playing before they fired Claude Julien, not really much has changed. And Paul Byron apparently is still useful. Ugh. Look, going into this year, Montreal was really going to rely on 4 guys, okay? It was Anderson, it was Toffoli, it was Suzuki, and it was Kotkaniemi. I mean, 2 of those guys have at least played in the NHL for a while. The other 2 are brand new, Okay? I mean, the shine has barely come off them. They played very well in the playoffs last year, yes. But to take a team and to basically anoint them as number 1 and number 2 centers, come on, man. They're literally playing against the best players every single night. It's an uphill slog for these guys. They don't match up against, I would say, almost anybody in the league when it comes to that center depth. That's why I didn't think that this team was going to do very well. That's why they are where they are. And quite frankly, Bergevin, Ducharme, well, I'm glad that they went with Ducharme and they went outside of the coaching bubble that is the recycler. They just haven't done it, and they haven't figured it out, and it's time that we need to wipe that slate clean. You know, a little Thanos snap of our own. Go back down and pull it back down to brass tacks. All right? Here's what it is. And I'm going to throw this out there to you guys because I want to know what you think. But if you can, I think it's time to trade Price. That's right. I said it. Carey Price. Do I think he's the best goalie in the world? Absolutely. Do I think he's playing very well this year? No. Did he play very well last year? No. Did he play well in the playoffs? Yes. Very much so. Can he do it again? I don't know. We'll see. But I honestly think it's time to let him go. And I think you want Carey Price to play well in the playoffs, and you want him to show people that he still has it, because that makes it a lot easier to move that contract down the road. Brendan Gallagher, that's another one. If you have a guy who, you know, is hardworking and can chip in the odd goal here and there, and, you know, grinds in front of the net and gets to the dirty areas, that's great. But when you have that guy and he apparently is the centerpiece of your entire team, and that when he leaves, your team literally falls apart, that's a problem. It's been an issue for a while now. Maybe you can move him and maybe you can get something for him because he is an asset to other teams. But I think it's time you move off of him. Yes, you still have Toffoli under a great contract. Yes, you have Anderson, but we'll see where that goes. Guys, I mean, this is just, it's not working. It hasn't been working. It's time to move on. Let's just call it a day. Last but not least, the NFL draft is happening currently. Yes, the NFL draft. Everybody loses their mind over the NFL draft. Franchises are made and lost in the NFL draft. It is absolutely ridiculous. But it's happening. Now, I will say this. I'm going to let it happen, and then come next week, we'll try and recap, try and break it down, see where everybody lands, see what we like, see what we don't like, maybe see who we're drafting in our fantasy team come the end of August. We'll see. All I want to say is thank you very much for Deadpool for being here. It's been awesome. Please, again, like and subscribe. This is the Nerdy Jock Talk. I am the Nerdy Jock, Nick Engel. Thank you for being here. Remember, guys, it is always game time, baby. Let's go!